Let's talk to Nigel Evans, former Deputy Speaker of the House of Commons, a very esteemed member of the Parliament for many, many years. Nigel, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Yeah, not bad at all, not bad at all. Trying my best to work out what exactly this government is up to. And when I find out, I'm going to tell them. I'm not going to pay £9,500 for the privilege either, because I don't think that would be worth it at all. But what on earth is going on? This one-in, one-out scheme has failed, sort of fallen at the first hurdle. As soon as it got examined by me yesterday, and I've got a piece in the Sun today as well, they can't explain how it's going to work. You know, they say they don't know if they can detain people straight away. They don't know if they can send them back. They don't know, basically, whether people might be able to challenge it legally. The whole thing seems to have been very ill-conceived and to be completely useless. It's actually now worse now because people can come to France and apply online to come here legally.
Mike, it's an absolute disaster. And as you said right at the top of the show, that the number coming in now is way more than it was even under Rishi Sunak.
Yeah.
And my previous government did not have a shining record on this, but this has clearly got worse. I've got an idea, Mike. The United States President, Donald Trump, has just done a deal with a country in Africa whereby illegal immigrants into the United States of America will be sent.
Yeah.
The country is called Rwanda. The United States of America have a Rwanda scheme where now illegal immigrants into America will be sent. Why, oh, why did one of the first measures that Keir Starmer take was to get rid of the Rwanda scheme? The French scheme is absolutely useless.
Yeah.
It is 20 in and 1 out. And if you think the one going out is being replaced by another one coming in, it's actually it's worse than useless.
Well, exactly. Well, because the end result is we get more people coming in. Somebody sent me a voice note yesterday and said, say, for example, 50,000 people come in over the course of this year, and then we send those 50,000 people back. They are then replaced in France by another 50,000 people who come back in. So the net result is we've got an extra 50,000 people.
Yeah, and it's not even sending 50,000 back. And the reality is, don't forget, we're talking about people who are claiming asylum, and they have gone through at least one, if not more, what I would call safe country. They can clearly not claim to be in fear of their lives if they're in France, and this is where they're coming from. And so these are not asylum seekers. They are illegal immigrants into the United Kingdom, and they should be treated as such. We're a soft touch, Mike. Quite frankly, absolute soft touch. I think Kemi is getting it right on this. She is saying that we're not the world's hotel, and we cannot be. As you've seen, all those hotels that are now being used, the British public have had enough, and they are now protesting outside many of asylum hotels. It's completely wrong. And then some of them coming in are then claiming benefits or getting support from the taxpayer, at the same time as getting jobs with Deliveroo or various other companies, probably illegally, Mike. We know that. It's not Deliveroo that will be supporting them, but somehow or other there is a new business that's been created. And so people coming into the UK have got a job, and they're being paid for by the British taxpayer. And it's just got to stop. We're a soft touch.
Yeah.
And it's no wonder that the numbers have increased as they have.
Well, it's absolutely insane. I mean, talking about Rwanda, when the opposition, as they were then, the Labour government, the now Labour government, when they were in opposition, were opposing the whole Rwanda scheme. You know, I knew then, and we said it very often on this show, that Rwanda had already been a destination used by many people, including the UN, by the way, who had evacuated some people, I think, from parts of the Middle East. Denmark had already sent people to Rwanda from their country. You know, it was already a perfectly safe haven to send people to, and it was only because of some ludicrous ruling in the Supreme Court where we somehow managed to discover that Rwanda, despite the fact that it's advertised on Arsenal football shirts every week as a tourist destination, is apparently too dangerous to send, some foreign criminals to.
Yeah, no, we've got to look afresh at this, absolutely right. And the United States of America are not only using Rwanda, they're using El Salvador, Eswatini, which used to be Swaziland, South Sudan. They're using a number of countries. And it's quite frankly, Mike, a commercial relationship between the United States of America and a number of other countries to be doing exactly the same. It is now costing us well over 8 billion a year to house all these legal immigrants into the United Kingdom, and they are using the European Convention of Human Rights in order to prolong their stay in the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
We should be either getting derogations from that or withdrawing from it completely and replacing it with a British Bill of Human Rights. We've just got to take action, and all we're getting now is really speech after speech after speech. We've got Keir Starmer making little videos saying that they are doing stuff about illegal immigrants. Well, they're not. The figure has now doubled, and it's going to be over 50,000. There's 1,000 a week, Mike, coming into the United Kingdom. It's totally unsustainable, and the government has got to get a grip, and it's simply not doing that.
No, it really isn't. And if you want to, excuse me, if you want to know just how bad this government is, have a look at what Angela Eagle said. This was on Monday about the tactics that we are now using.
That is going to change soon when our French colleagues change their tactics. We have to change our tactics to adapt to the changing tactics of the people smuggling gang.
I sort of joked about this the other day, that, you know, she's thinking about maybe a sort of 4-4-2 tactical formation going into a football match. You know, these people don't know what they're doing. I can't imagine how much worse this government can get. But every week, Nigel, it seems to get worse.
Yeah, absolutely. Angela Eagle was way out of her depth there. They simply do not have an answer to it. And of course, the people smugglers in France know this. And that's why the numbers are increasing at the rate that they are. It's a good business for the people smugglers, and they know that Britain is a soft touch, and they know that the government is doing next to nothing about it. And this particular scheme with France is nothing more than a veneer. It's a facade. It's for them to say that they're doing something about it. And no doubt, Mike, when eventually they do send the first person back to France in exchange for the other immigrant that is now going to come back to the United Kingdom, there will be a lot of publicity about it. But the reality is that we are now taking in an extra 50,000 people a year, and it is totally unsustainable. And putting ministers up like Angela Eagle to just waffle in front of the TV cameras, it's pitiful, absolutely pitiful.
It really is.
The smugglers must be looking at that and laughing.
Of course. And I mean, we had figures last week, didn't we, that came in on sort of the official migration figures, the net migration figures, that we've had something like 1.5 million extra people coming here in the last 2 years. I think it was 700,000 last year, and under the Tories, about 800,000 the year before. You know, and that's not just the illegal stuff, that's the legal stuff as well. And we've heard about all these ridiculous schemes of, you know, Nigerian storytellers that can come in on a skilled workers visa as long as they can tell a story orally, then they can get in and bring members of their family and live here for 5 years. You know, people who come here, they're cracking down on people who come here as students who are now not even pretending to go to college. They're just coming as visa holders and staying here and then claiming asylum. The whole system is completely ruined, isn't it?
No, it's completely broken, and the story even gets worse than that, Mike, because you've got the colossal number of legal migrants coming into the United Kingdom. Then you've got the increasing number of illegal immigrants coming into the United Kingdom, crossing on small boats. And then you've got the exodus of 13,500 rich people from the United Kingdom who are going to live in Dubai, or Italy, Monaco, you name it, because they've been forced out by the government by their excess taxation. So you've got all these people coming in, which are going to be cost to the United Kingdom, and you've got 13,500. It's going to rise to 16,000 this year, of people who were paying their taxes. They were paying something into the United Kingdom, spending their money. They were not a drain on the United Kingdom whatsoever. They were spending money on houses, on restaurants, on employing people, and they're 13,500 of them have already gone. And so no wonder Rachel Reeves has got a £50 billion black hole, Mike.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was going to move you on to Rachel Reeves. I mean, she's been a bit quiet for the last couple of weeks. She's kind of been, I don't know if she's been having a bit of a summer siesta. But, you know, again, so they've stewarded the economy in such a bad way that we've now somehow doubled the black hole that the OBR initially said didn't exist, to the point where we're borrowing now 20 billion a month pretty much. And, you know, the 50 billion pound black hole for which she will want to raise taxes, I don't think the British people will put up with that. I just don't think people have been squeezed enough. They haven't got any more money to give.
No, but don't worry, Mike. She's got Neil Kinnock advising her. As you know, that great Labour leader of the past,
Yeah.
who never quite made it to Downing Street, thank goodness, but now he's using his good services from the House of Lords advising Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves on what to do. And it's, of course, you have to have a wealth tax, even though 13,500 of the wealthiest have already left the United Kingdom and more are leaving. And then his next big idea is to tax those on private health, so that you actually are not a burden on the National Health Service, are paying to privately get their health seen to. He is now advising her to clobber them as well. I've got a new genius idea, Mike, because maybe this has never been thought about before, because you've got somebody like Lord Kinnock, who is on a massive pension from the European Union.
Yeah.
It's probably, I think, somewhere in the region of 60,000 a year, which is the sort of money that most people who go out working every day only dream about. Yeah. And of course, he sits in the House of Lords on £361 a day every day the House of Lords is sitting, where there is no tax paid at all on that. Well, why doesn't Neil Kinnock suggest that he pays tax on the amount of money, which is approaching 65,000 a year if he attends every day? He's paying no tax on that whatsoever. It's eye-watering.
It is absolutely ridiculous. Let me ask you one final question before I let you go, Nigel. Good to talk to you. This is Nigel Farage trying to talk at Prime Minister's questions recently.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Some of you want to get in a little late. If this takes forever, you won't get in. Nigel Farage.
Thank you. The main reason this country wisely voted for Brexit back in 2016, and that included millions of Labour supporters, is because we wanted to take back control of our borders so that we and we alone could decide who comes and settles in our country. Does the Prime Minister understand that that demand today is even greater than it was back in 2016, and that we demand...
I've seen some heckling in the House of Commons. You used to be Deputy Speaker there, and you've seen it all, I'm sure. But, you know, it does seem to me, without wishing to be, shall we say, unfair to Lindsay Hoyle, he's not exactly enthusiastic about shutting people up when Nigel Farage is speaking, is he?
Well, every time Nigel Farage stands up in the House of Commons, he's shouted down by people on the other side. And why? You're going to call them one-term wonders, Mike. These are people who got elected at the last general election who never expected to get elected, and they rather like being there. And they think somehow or other, by shouting down Nigel Farage, that's going to make their job more safer, that it's more likely that they'll get elected in 2029 when possibly the next election will come. And the reality is that the Labour Party are sinking dramatically in the polls week by week. It's because people have looked at the policies that have been introduced by Keir Starmer, many of them actually contrary to what they promised during the general election. He was going to look after the pensioners, now he's clobbering them. He was going to be on the side of the farmers, and now he's introduced an inheritance tax on them. He was going to support the WASPy women, and he has done quite the reverse. He was going to support business, and then they increased the national insurance on these businesses. You know, one by one, all the promises have been broken. And so the people are sitting back and thinking they're not going to vote Labour at the next election. You've got to remember as well, Mike, that Keir Starmer got elected on 33.7% of the vote. He may have a big majority, but he has got no mandate for anything that is passing through the House of Commons at the moment. And it is pointless them shouting down at Nigel Farage, because people in these Labour seats are looking at what Nigel is saying and actually rather liking what he's saying. And that's why he's doing well at local government by-elections every Thursday. He's done well at the first parliamentary test that we had in the northwest of England, and they are well ahead of the Labour Party on the opinion polls. And so, as I say, them shouting him down in the House of Commons only really draws attention to the fact that they are scared of losing their jobs. And quite frankly, bring on the next general election. There must be a lot of people sitting watching this programme, Mike, every day and thinking, why, oh why did the British public put this government into power?
I mean, yeah, absolutely staggering. Incredible how bad they are. Nigel, great to see you. Thank you very much indeed.